D.C., and many others. He's been in the movies. He's been in Montreal for our Just for Laughs festival. But his greatest accomplishment to date is that he is a Chabad on Campus alumnus from Boston University. Please put your hands together for Modi.
One, two. How are you? How are you? Come on! How are you? Thank you, Rabbi, and Rabbi. It's wonderful being here. I was sent a video of my Rabbi Shmuel Posner. He was in the house last year. He spoke here. He sent me the video. I cried for about 45 minutes. So I said, we gotta come back here and make a happy, and they brought a comedian, and this is it. And like he said, HBO, Comedy Central, all these shows, and now the Hilton. This is how I planned my career. Chabad House plays such a role in my life. I don't know if you've ever known or seen the Chabad House in Boston. It's wedged. It's in Kenmore Square, which is like the Times Square of Boston. It's wedged between a Chinese funeral home, a frat house, not the Jewish one, it's not it's a GOY, whatever that frat is. With underneath it is a suntan booth parlor. So you understand, on one side you have the dead, physically, the next door you have the mentally dead, and then the ones downstairs are trying to be a carbon pacer and fry themselves in a microwave. The rabbi has been such a part of my life in comedy. I'll never forget there's different moments in comedy where things are game changers. I had a show at Harvard once, in front of non-Jewish people and Jewish people, the regular students. I went up there and I always said, who's Jewish? And this kid in the front row is holding a hand of this girl, and he raises his hand, and she doesn't raise her hand. So I say to him, what's doing? He's dating a non-Jewish girl. And I do a whole shtick about it. Not to embarrass the kid, to have fun with it. I go, yeah, it must be a lot easier going out with a non-Jewish girl. The things you can do with a non-Jewish girl, you can't do with the Jewish girl. You can say to her things like, Christina, because that's their names. I'm giving you one rose because you're the only one for me. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's so special. He's so sensitive. It's because he's Jewish. Well, the same stunt that a Jewish girl said to her, Rivka, I'm giving you one rose. No. You're giving me one rose because you're too cheap to buy 11 more. It's a joke. It's a little thing, a little shtick the kid is that. And then after the show, the rabbi speaks to me and says to me, you realize you're doing the Rebbe's work. Since that day, I've always known that I now am a shliach also of the Rebbe. Every time I talk to somebody from the audience, I always think of the rabbi. And he's an old school rabbi. There's old school Chabad and young school Chabad. You know what I'm talking about? And then there's that mixed up one like Avi Weinstein. Avi called me on the phone. Avi sounds like my Zadie.
Chabad, you should make for us a show.
You should make for us. Should I make for you a show? Really? Do you want me to do it in Yiddish with English words? Is that what I should make for you? There's old school and new school Chabad. I like the old school guys. They got the suit that doesn't fit them. It's dripping off the shoulders. The pants that are this, the hat. And then there's the young Chabad guys. Now keep in mind, I see them all. I have performed in over 162 Chabad houses and organizations. All of them. Each one's a bigger nut than the next. There's the rabbis who are like, you know, I said the old, and then you have the young guys. I never forget this show. I'm not going to mention the town I was in, Toronto. The rabbi is this young little kid who got the gig because his father's got gigs up there. And he comes over to me and he's like, you know, he's wearing this suit that's so tight, I was uncomfortable looking at him. It's just the hoisin are like this. He's got pink socks, shoes with buckles and leather and cupping and glasses that are yellow in orange, and the jacket that he can't move his arm, and he says, yeah, this helps me fit in with the younger people. He was 5'2" with his hat. His beard reached his ankles. Sits is flying, but the suit is going to help him fit in with everybody else. The suit. Chabad house, like I said, only Chabad house on campus I know is the Boston one, because I went there. You guys haven't brought me to perform for you because you can't afford me. But I do Chabad organizations all over. Each one's crazy. And I did one, I swear to you, it was called the Vancouver Jewish Business Network. Now you can mumble who you know from the da-da. The guy had 422 people, 11 were Jewish. The rest all want to do business with them. And to raise money, he did this thing outside called a Chinese auction. Know what this is? They have some piece of something, there's a box outside, you buy a little kvetlof, you put it in, they mix it up, and whoever wins, wins. The Judaica store of Vancouver made a donation of this big, magnificent shofar. 5 feet tall, 3 curls, beautiful. I said, who's gonna bid on this? I bought a $5 ticket, put it in, I won. I forgot that I'm flying back to New York the next day. I want you to picture me in shorts, a tank top, a roller bag, and a 5-foot shofar walking through the airport. I get to the x-ray, I put it down, it goes through, the woman's face drops. Drops! She's seen everything. She's seen guns and knives and grenades and even dangerous things like moisturizer over 3.5 ounces. She's seen it all. This, she never saw. I said, excuse me, sir, what is that? I said, that? That's my ram's horn. And I said it in a way as if, isn't everybody here traveling with their ram's horn? She didn't think it was funny at all. She hits the button and 2 Cossacks show up. Mounties with the hats and the horse and the swords and the guns, and they begin to question. Sir, you're saying it's a ram's horn? Well, yeah, it's a ram's horn. Says, were you on safari? I said, no, it's the JCC. The other chacham hits me with a ram's horn, right? I go, yep, it's a ram's horn. He goes, so where's the other one? I said, I don't know, it could have been a unicorn. Every Chabad house is the same. As much as each Chabad rabbi thinks he's different, they're all the same. They all got the same. There's one Yemenite Israeli guy who thinks he knows everything. There's one Sephardi, but they all gel into one Chabad, and there's no nusach, and then there's this one rabbi, and that's that. It's beautiful. You see Sephardic people and Ashkenazi who are so different come together. We know that they're different, right? Sephardic, I know there's one Am Echad, but there is a huge difference between Sephardi and Ashkenazi. Yes, I dated this girl, Sephardic. They schlep everything out to no end. I'm at her father's house, he's making hamotzi. Ashkenazi, we make hamotzi, it's a 3-second event. And we're done. This guy for hamotzi was a 5-hour production. Ashkenazi guy sitting there with flies on his lip. Give me a piece, break. Give me a piece, but he's still going. Aleinu, ve'albinenu, ve'alkolbinenu, al-jazira, al-gaina, alehem, ve'albinenu, al-hayahem, alehem. They schlep everything. Did you ever get stuck in a Sephardic minion? No Ashkenazi guy would go voluntarily. You end up there, you have something in there. We will now do mincha for Wednesday. We begin with Shir HaShirim. What? He knows all the books. He's channeled for us. He is special. He is relative. Every Sephardic rabbi is a relative of the Baba Sali. He is great-great-grandson of Baba Sali. He's so special. He wrote the book, special book. Every Sephardic rabbi wrote a book. Shaharei HaMitriya, the gates of the umbrella. This special rabbi. Ashkenazi guy. You ever said, a rabbi, what a putz. day for you, right? There's women here. Where? Oh, here. This is nice. I do a lot of fun. Believe me, I've done this with mechitzas and streimels and the whole thing. Believe me, every fundraiser Jews have is always material for me. I did a show for an organization called Boinei Olam. I don't know if you heard of them or didn't hear of them. The rabbi calls me directly. They work with women with vitro shots and things I never heard of. I never heard of these things. The rabbi calls me up directly and says to me what sounded very much like English. Hello, my name is Rabbi Buch. I work with the organization, it's called the Boinei Olam. And we work with women who are trying to get pregnant, and we need your help. You're laughing! That means you have a sense of humor, because that's a funny joke. I've done that joke a while now. People, but is there really such a thing? One woman went online, looked up the organization, saw it was a real thing, donated $10,000 she donated. So you see, these things, comedy is important. I want to talk about some more things before I bring on the next speaker here. My experience in the Chabad house. And people always ask me, I want to tell one story before I just keep going here. Rabbi Posen spoke about when we were in the Chabad house. We used to go to the Rebbe all the time. He would call us up. He'd call me up, and he knew I was not busy. He knew the other kids that were in my chevra, in my group. We were a group. We were a group of a few of us. There's a picture. Was that picture from before? Get that picture up. Good. No? Mendy. There's got to be a Mendy back there. Would you hit the button? There was a bunch of us, our crew. They were all great. They were all medical students, law students, this and that. I was just trying to get out of there. There it is, right? Doctors and lawyers and... You see the one all the way in the kind of chair I had? Oh my God! The one all the way to by the left over there. He came into the Chabad house and told the rabbi, I'm studying to be a conservative rabbi. He looks more from than you now. So black beard, he's a Chabad house, he's the whole thing. And the rabbi changed our lives. And like he said, we used to go all the time down to see the rabbi. We didn't even realize what a schus, what an amazing honor this was. And the trips were amazing. The rabbi had a car. I want to discuss this car for you. It was an 1873 Oldsmobile, which I don't think could fit into this room. It was massive. Two of the wheels were spare tires. Donuts, they were called. The car was missing two gears, neutral and drive. You had to go from park into D1. So every time we went like this. We would drive down, the rabbi sat there, we put somebody in between. I was the balagala, I was the driver. Every time I was the driver, that was it. He put two girls and two boys in the back and one of his kids in the middle as a human mechitza. We drive down 4 hours, have the time of our lives. We'd be laughing and joking, and the rabbi was in the front. Oh, we didn't know what he was doing. Obviously, he was davening. I said, stop doing that, you're scaring the people. But there was one time I'll never forget, and the rabbi's going to crawl under the chair right now when he hears this story, where it was only me, the rabbi, and one other kid who was a new kid. A new guy from the Chevra. We drove down, and the rabbi tells me before where we used to park, but we go around the way, I want you to go down Kingston and park right here. We park right there. I go, why are we here? Because you see that door over there? I go, yeah, what is that? It's a mikvah. Please, let me get to the point here. I said, so why are we here? He says, I want you and this kid to go down into the mikvah before we go to the Rebbe. I said, all right. Went down to the mikvah. Now, I don't know if you remember the mikvah 20 years ago. It's not like it was today. Today it looks like a spa. You walk in, there's rotundas, there's three sides, there's a private area, not private area. I went down there, and I saw this mikvah. I ran right back up and I said, Rabbi, what is that? It looks like an avocado smoothie. I'm not going in there. I am not going in there. He says, get down there and take him with you. I go, why? He goes, this kid used to dabble around with all kinds of avodah zarah, and the Rebbe's not going to look him in the eye unless you go. I go, if I go in that mikvah, the Rebbe won't look me in the eye. Went into this mikvah. You have never seen a mikvah, and we're in there. We are in this mikvah, up to here, right? And we see a 90-year-old man start heading towards us. Didn't even look at the showers. Walking right in, another step, and then he began one step in and began to pish. So someone yells and goes, Herschel, what's Kitzik? What are you doing? He looked down and said, I thought I was inside already. You're laughing hard. You're not laughing, but you're laughing hard. The Rebbe looked this kid in the eye. This kid was a very smart kid. He was at MIT, and now he lives in Israel. He is a full Chabad guy with 8 kids, and he's discovering and researching and developing. He is a true product of Chabad. I am telling jokes on late night TV, so I don't know what happened to me in that mikvah. Avi, you got time for one more? I know. Yeah? There's just this bench over here. I do everything Jewish, you know. I'm a comedian. I did 1 week, I looked at my calendar, I did the Chabad Telethon. I did a show on BET, the Black Entertainment Television, and then a nightclub in Alabama. Just so you know, but whatever I do, because of Chabad, and because of the Chabad house growing up with Rabbi Posner and his wife, and those beautiful kids, I do it Jewish. You do it Jewish, you're proud. Every time they always say, this community, and they know it's a Jew from New York. Just like when they see Chris Rock, it's a black guy from New York. They know it's a Jew from New York. I never do jokes that are self-deprecating. I never apologize for being Jewish. It's always proud. Here's this Jew's opinion, and that's how it goes. And that is something I learned from Chabad. A few years ago, Rabbi Posner started going down to Israel on some organization that takes him down there. I had to imagine the rabbi on a flight to Israel, on El Al. I said, Rabbi, do you know how to fly to Israel? Make sure you get the upgrade, make sure you got a good seat, leg room, this, that. He knew nothing. He flew to Israel on a flight that was in the afternoon, El Al, middle seat. He had no sleeping pills. I couldn't imagine what this poor rabbi was going through his first time flying to Israel. There must have been some Israeli next to him, right? You get on that flight, some Israeli there, eating galanim. How you are? No, this is I fly twice a year to Israel, back and forth to New York. I like to go to B&H Camera. This is the only place I see Hasidim working. This is amazing. Only this place I see, this is unreal. Or maybe on the other side he had some chassid, some special. Hello, my name is Yoeli, and for the next 18 hours, I'm going to be verkrazeling the payas. Just non-stop, 8 hours of verkrazeling, and you're going to want to not look, but you can't not look. You have to look when I verkrazel and rib and I put it right back behind my ear, and I flip it over and then they're going to bring me my own dinner, and it's going to stink the whole airplane like a reyach nichoyach. And my wife's going to make a tzibula sandwich. She's going to have that too, and then I'm going to finish, and I'm going to verkrazel some more. Or maybe he's got some bubby next to him, some from Boca Raton. We're flying down from my grandson's bar mitzvah. Wasn't my idea, it's my daughter-in-law's idea. Yeah, she met some guy named Mendy at a Chabad house, and we're flying down to Israel. All of a sudden, she can't eat off my dishes. I says to her, I says, you want to do a destination bar mitzvah? Do it by me. Do it in Boca. You know Boca? Yeah, we moved down there 21 years ago when Seymour was only 84. Right, Seymour? Huh? Am I dead yet? Not yet, Seymour. I'll tell you when you're dead. I'd like to end unhappy, not sad. So, to move the program along, we have amazing speakers here, and this next speaker is a current student at a Chabad house. I'm almost jealous. of those days. She's going to be speaking about her experience right now. Please help me welcome up here Ms. Brittany Goldberg of University of Harvard.